Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to the Operation Hill 100 Hearts channel where we do what? Focus on healing, humor, and hot topics. What's up, you nosy motherfuckers? I know y'all miss me, but I am back. So let's get into these Dear Deja videos. Let's get these Dear Deja letters, my bad. Let's get into these responses. Let's get back to healing, humor, and hot motherfucking topics. Here we go. Dear Deja, let me know if I dragged it. I have an 8-year-old who's friends with a little girl from her school, like that's her bestie. The little girl's mom and I are cordial because of our daughters, but our personalities are very different, so we don't necessarily click. Last year, she gave her daughter a party at an event space, and I took my baby, and we had a nice time. This year, my baby's bestie is having a sleepover, and the mom has invited my daughter. At first, I was very, very apprehensive, but my daughter was so anxious and excited to go, so I said, fine, I'll let her go. About 2 hours after I dropped her off, I'm back home scrolling on my social media, and I see my daughter's bestie's mom's page. This girl is at the club, twerking, drinking, and having the time of her life. I started texting, calling, and DMing this bitch because who's watching my freaking kid while you're partying? No answer. DJ, I got dressed and drove over to that house. Do you know some teenage cousin opened the door and it looked like she was in there with her man and it smelled like they just finished smoking. I grabbed my baby up so quick and got her the fuck out of there. I know it's not fair to take it out on my daughter's bestie, but I'm ready to cut ties with all of these motherfuckers because being irresponsible when it comes to my child is a no-no. But I know in doing so, I'm hurting my baby as well. What's a girl to do? Let me know what you think. Sign, am I overprotecting or overreacting? So, as I said, I always get a little twinge, and cringe of discomfort when it comes to giving feedback on giving feedback to parents in regards to parenting because folks are extremely sensitive when it comes to their child or their children. And in all fairness, I assume that I would be as well because although I'm not a mom, I am an auntie and I am an older sister and I am extremely sensitive about my siblings and about my nieces and nephews. So I get it. Right? So I'm going to take that into accountability, but I also want to be rational when giving my feedback because I do need folks to understand that although you are extremely sensitive and you want to protect your baby, sometimes you are biased to everything else regarding those situations. Not saying that's the case for this, I'm just saying in general. All right, let's run it, sister girl. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't forget to hit the like on this video. Make sure if you're new to my channel, you have subscribed and turned on the notification bells. And make sure you leave your commentary after I finish reading my response so we can get into some things. Okay. First of all, I love the fact that you were able to kind of say, you know what, let me relinquish some control and allow my baby to have some freedom, right? Even though little mama's only 8, I still like that. I still like that because I felt like you considered little mama's feelings in regards to this situation as well. So love that for you, right? Um, Number one, I think that you should definitely protect your children at all costs, no matter how old they are, no matter where they are, who they're with. So do I think you're overreacting in this situation? No. Not at all. I don't think you overreacted one bit, really and truly. And the reason why I say that is because every step that you took was a step in being considerate of the entire situation before you made a move, right? So one of the things that I saw that you wrote in your letter was you was like, I started calling, texting, and DMing her. Right now, the overreactive thing to do would have been to automatically went over there and got your daughter immediately without even speaking to the young lady. Like you said, no. I actually tried to reach out to her because I wanted to know who the fuck had my kid and why don't you have them? Because you are who I left them with, right? So no, I do not think you're overreacting. I actually think you really tried to be respectful of her and try to get some answers before you jump the gun. So no, I do not think you're overreacting. I think you made the right decision in going to get your baby because, as you said, and when I arrived there, look what was taking place. She left them with a person that she never made me aware who this person is. I don't know who this person is. You left with my kid, and then on top of that, it sounds like you probably are not into smoking. So they left your kid somewhere with someone you don't know, and the person is doing something and exposing your kid to something that you may not want your kid exposed to. So you did the right thing by getting up, going over there, and getting the baby. There's no harm, no foul play, no. Anytime it's time to protect your kid and you decide to do so, there is no wrong in that, right? As far as hurting your baby, because it sounds like at this point, this is not about the little mama, and this is not about her mother. This is more about you and wanting to make sure you safeguard your daughter's feelings surrounding her relationship with her bestie moving forward. Children are not stupid. And I tell everybody this all the time. I can relate to young people because I was actually a young person, right? I've never been a parent, but I have been a kid. So a lot of time, my relatability to young people comes from the fact that I have been in their shoes before. And I'm here to tell you, children are not stupid, not by a long shot. Right? So I don't think that you have to go into such intricate details with an 8-year-old, but I do think you need to give her the gist of what's going on and why you're making decisions that you're making, right? And I'm not saying this because I know sometimes, and this definitely happened when I was growing up, I know sometimes folks can get offended when you suggest that they give young people explanations. My dad was the king of that. It irritated the dog fucker out of him that I wanted to know why. Why are you doing this? Why are you saying that? Why? It's like, I don't owe you an explanation. You're a kid. I'm the parent. You're going to do as I say, right? But for me, it wasn't just me being nosy, even though I'm a nosy ass bitch, right? But it was more so about me learning how to navigate things in a particular way because of the information I was given, right? So let me see if I can land a plane with that one. That's just like my mom. My mom was very hell-bent. My mom was extremely hell-bent on making sure that we did not entertain strangers. Don't talk to them. Don't go nowhere with them. Don't tell them your name. Don't take nothing from them. Like, my mom was very serious. Now, of course, like I said, I was the why kid. And I'm almost positively sure that God is going to, I'll call it a blessing for now until it gets on my fucking nerves. But I'm pretty sure God is going to bless me with a daughter that constantly did the same thing that I used to do, which is question every fucking thing, right? So anywho, I was a why kid. So for me, when my mom is giving me this information, I'm looking at her like, but why? If there's nothing wrong and there's no harm and no foul, and why? And my mom was a person who was courteous enough to give explanations, right? And for me, that's how I process how to make decisions. If you give me a directive or you share with me something, in order for me to move forward with any form of action or to not move forward because this requires no action, I need to know why so I can make the best decision. So for me, my mom, I was like, why? And she shared because some people will hurt you. This is a cruel world, yada, 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 her whole explanation. So for me, when I'm not talking to strangers, I'm making that decision because I know what my mom told me about these people. And I don't want to run the risk of yada, yada, yada. But I'm only able to make that decision because I have the information. So how I look at it is when you are giving young people explanations or they're constantly asking why, and I'm just telling you guys this because I have been a kid before, I've never been a parent. That's because that they are, I'm not going to say they're asking for this reason, but I'm telling you what's the best thing that they would do with the explanation is that it will help them learn how to navigate making choices. And don't get me wrong, sometimes people make the wrong ones, even with the information they're given. But it's also teaching them how to think for themselves, right? So do I think that you need to give your baby as an 8-year-old all of the the critical details of smoking and she was partying? No, you probably don't need to do all of that. But you could say to her, let's just say you guys got home and she's like, oh, Mom, why did you take me from the sleepover? And why can't I spend the night anymore? And why can't I go yada, 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 yada? What you can explain to her is that just because it sounds like the relationship between her and her bestie is about to shift, it's okay to explain to her why. Listen, I'll use my own kid. My kid name is going to be Callie, right? So I'll use Callie, right? Say this is me and Callie. I would be like, Callie, your mom parents a certain type of way, right? Am I saying that parenting is right or wrong? No. I'm just saying that it's the best parenting style for me in order to protect and take care of you. Other parents may parent differently from your mom, and they do that to protect their children and to take care of them. I cannot tell them what to do with their parenting style, and they can't tell me what to do with mine because we have different children. So while I don't mind you hanging out with your bestie, it's not okay for you to spend the night over there because I'm not there with you and I can't parent you the way I want for you to be parented. Right? And again, am I saying a ton of questions is going to come after that, especially with the type of kid I'm going to have, but that can start the conversation off. And you don't have to tell her, oh, the other mom went to a party, people were in there smoking. First of all, she probably gonna tell you that. If she's smart enough, how I was, she probably gonna be able to give you the whole lay of the land. Okay, mom, as soon as you left, she got dressed, somebody came and picked her up. I used to run my damn mouth just how I run it right now. So I would be able to tell my mama that shit. But that would be what she saw on her own. That's not what you're telling her as the adult and one of the most important adults in her life. So I think, like I said, young people are not stupid. You can give her the lay of the land, just not so many details because we're keeping in mind you want to preserve her innocence. She's 8 years old, and you also don't want to give her too much information about another adult. Because you can definitely taint the image of a young person you can taint the image of an adult to a young person when they're given too much information. And I mean, you have to be extremely careful. I mean, like I'll give an example, right? I have a young person in my life who I don't particularly favor his mother. And I'm almost sure she doesn't favor me, right? And I think, and this is my assumption, on the other side, he's privy to things that would make the light bulb go off that his mom doesn't favor me, right? On my end, he's not. Because any conversation that his mom has come up in and I'm the person having a conversation, I always speak very politely. I speak with a certain tone. I watch my facial expressions and I try to have as minimum as possible conversation about her ever, right? And that's just because I don't want to expose him to the fact that I may not be too fond of that other person, right? Because then that also gives the young person information and ammunition on how to navigate the relationship with that other adult. So you don't want to tell your kid that, oh, well, she left you in the house and we're partying and she left you in there with people you don't know smoking, because now it's having your kid look at the other parent like they're a villain. And you don't want that because kids don't have a filter. They will let some shit out, right? So like I say, you can, because it seems like in your letter, you're basically trying to say, I'm more so care about how my daughter is going to respond with me kind of removing her to some degree from her bestie's life and vice versa. But once again, you can share with her why you're making some decisions. Now, I don't know if you're saying you don't want them to be friends ever again and that's a dub, then that's something totally different. But if you're saying things like they can still hang out, but only when you're present, she can't spend a night, things of that nature, then there's ways to share that with her where you don't taint her image of the other adult, but you're also able to protect her and get her to understand why the information that you're giving her is very, very important. And there may be some backlash on the other end from the other mom because she may to some degree feel judged. And I see that a lot with parents. And I personally don't want to speak a lot about the feelings of parents because I'm not a parent. So, and what I'm learning as I get older and older and older is that, sometimes you have to actually, if not all the time, go through or grow through a situation before you can make a clear assessment. I mean, it could look however you think. You could think what you might, but unless you are a part of it, you should really shut the fuck up. And I'm learning to do so. So I won't say Why she might feel judged as a parent, I won't say if she has the right to be offended about being judged as a parent. I cannot say. But I do anticipate you receiving some backlash because she may be offended. You know, and if that's the case, she's not an 8-year-old, so you don't have to handle her with white gloves how you handled your baby. You can just be very motherfucking clear with her. Hi. How you doing? I did not appreciate, and moving forward, I have to protect my kid because I'm raising my kid how I see fit. So this is how the parameters of this friendship is gonna go, unless you don't want our daughters to be friends, and that's fine too. It's unfortunate for the young people because they're innocent and have nothing to do with it. But at the same token, they're only kids. They'll make other friends. But at this moment, you cannot try to accommodate this other adult for doing bullshit. And that right there was straight up and down bullshit because it compromises safety of your young person. Anything could have happened. She would have not known, she was not there. She also didn't inform you that she wasn't going to be there. She also didn't inform you that she would be leaving your kid with somebody you don't fucking know. Therefore, you do not trust. So I don't think that you should handle the other parent with white gloves. I think you should be very clear and concise about your feelings moving forward. And then I think you need to ask her, if this is going to present an issue for you, let me know, because I can start prepping my kid to know that they're not friends anymore. Like real shit. And that's not even being mean, that's being real. That's being very real. Sorry, guys. That's being very, very real. Because no matter what, at the end of the day, as a parent, your only job on this planet moving forward that God cares about is you protecting your children. So, okay, mama love, okay. I hope that helped. I hope that helped. I actually hope that the other parent can be understanding and apologetic and more importantly, more responsible when it comes to parenting not only her young person, but any young person in her presence, because it was very irresponsible of her. And if you can't land a plane for her to see or understand this message, tell her to come book her Operation Hill 100 Heart session. You both can come. You can bring the kids. I have no issue with assisting you ladies on how to move forward so your daughters can continue to be friends. You know, because truth be told, they're both innocent in this situation and it really revolves around them. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy you're here and I'm happy to be back. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel and turn on your notification bell so you can get all these dear DJs as they will be dropping boom, 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 boom during the holiday season. I will be going live. There's a lot of things going on, show reviews and so on and so forth. Make sure you like the video. Please hit the thumbs up on this video right now. Please leave your commentary because I'm done responding to this letter, and make sure you share with your folks because this may be applicable to them as well. And any event, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your day and thank you for tuning in.